This is the Ferrari Roma Spider. If you notice, the color of the key actually matches the color of the car. Not quite 19-20 का फर्क है. However, the key is awesome to hold. This is to unlock the car, also to open the boot of the vehicle. This is to lock the car, and it says Roma Spider right here. Now it looks amazing. The design is just phenomenal, especially with the doors open. It looks lovely, and this color is also quite nice. Straight away, let's open the engine bay because it is still a V8 motor. No downsizing has been done here. Red finishing on the engine cover. It says Ferrari right there on both the sides. In fact, the engine has been pushed all the way behind for a front mid-engine layout. There's insulation there, but there are a lot of instructions. You have to be well read to buy a Ferrari. It says something here. It says high voltage, do not touch. So I'm going to touch it. It tells you the chassis number here. More information, more information, more information, and more information. So it's an information overload. You have to first read a lot before driving this car. Washer fluid goes in right there. And this is the first time in more than 50 years Ferrari has actually done a front engine convertible car. Now this is actually the entry-level Ferrari because the Roma has been discontinued, the coupe version. The Portofino has been discontinued. This actually replaces the Portofino. Right now the indicator is on here. Let me quickly turn on the lights as well by pressing this button. Yeah, the haptic controls are horrendous. I don't know why Ferrari still does it. So I've just turned on the lights right now. Let's actually go to the high beam, which means pressing a button somewhere here. Now that is activated. This is the low beam. This is actually the high beam. You get 4 parking sensors at the front. So one here, and then 2 on the other side. The Ferrari logo, another Ferrari logo, the front parking camera. This is actually jutting out. This is curved. So yes, the design is just awesome. The wheel size, well, at the front you obviously get bigger wheels because the tire size at the front is 245/35/20s. It says Ferrari Brembo carbon ceramic, but it's finished in gloss black. It should have been finished in red or something of that sort. Would have looked much better. Let me shut the door here. The rear tire size is obviously bigger, but still these are 20-inch wheels here. So 285/35/20s. Look at the size of the tires. That's massive. Let me quickly open the boot of the vehicle. I think the boot size is somewhere around, where's the button? Yeah, there it is. So the boot size is approximately around 246 liters. I have to, do some partition here, then only I can put the roof down. So when this is down, then this is the luggage separator, then only you can put the roof down. Space isn't much, yeah, but I can press this button to actually put the seat down. I don't think you could see it. What all options are there in this car are all written right here. Let's shut this and let me quickly put the roof down of the vehicle because it's a convertible now. So you need to do that first thing. So here I press a button and there this opens. Now this takes around 13.5 seconds, which is actually very quick. There goes the roof down. Now it looks phenomenal because you get unlimited headroom. Yeah, that's about it. Let me actually adjust the seat as well because I think the seat is way too ahead. So I press this memory function and there the seat goes back. The steering wheel will also move because it has also got the memory function. The seat is going behind. You can adjust it in a lot of ways, including the under thigh support, but I don't know how to do it because it's not manual. Okay, now the steering is moving. It's not manual, it's electric. Maybe I have to go into the screen and do that. There's some storage space here, which seems to be for the wireless charger. Some storage space here as well. Now look at the car. Now doesn't it look awesome? Firstly, there's an indicator here. The car is quite horny. It keeps ringing all the time. See the bulges on the bonnet, which look awesome. There you see there's a camera for lane keep assist and for the rain sensor as well. So the design of the Roma is what makes it so beautiful. In fact, after around 14 years, Ferrari has actually done a soft top. So this car gets a fabric soft top, which is so well done now that you don't actually feel the difference in terms of the performance when compared to the coupe version. So they've stabilized everything, but the weight has obviously gone up. Looks really awesome. The design is just lovely. Fuel goes in right here. Just push it and fill it up. And I like the door handles. So you press it inside to open it. There's actually a fire extinguisher right here. It says Ferrari. Door pocket's actually very small. It says JBL speakers in this car. Roma Spider as well. This is an 8.8-inch screen which has a lot of information. So it has a speedometer. It will tell you that as well if you want to just monitor what's happening. This is for the audio system. This screen is actually amazing. It says SRS airbag. Glove box is not that big. Yeah, it's quite small, but does not have any information as well. Yeah, that's for the Salik. This is to operate the AC vents, and space is decent here. I wouldn't say no to that, but this metal finishing here is so that you can keep your feet properly. When the driver decides to go bonkers, there is obviously, what is this? A headrest which is not adjustable. You get headrest at the rear, which was not the case with the coupe version, and this is the wind deflector which works at speeds of up to 170 kilometers per hour. How to activate it? I press this button and there it gets activated. It's a bit slow to operate, but there it opens. So it reduces wind buffeting, but space at the rear is non-existent. It's best for stuff only. My driving position, nobody can sit at the rear, not even aliens, but you get unlimited headroom here, which is such a good thing. Let's shut this and come behind. Again, certain changes to the design at the rear, because obviously the window now folds back. The rear windscreen folds into the boot. That is the rear fog light, and it gets quad exhaust, two on either side of the car. Very aggressive diffuser treatment. You get a rear parking camera here. That is the Ferrari logo. It even says Ferrari here, because this thing opens, because that is the rear spoiler. It gets activated at speed. It also gets a high mounted stop lamp here. Beautiful finishing. It says something, I'm not able to read it. Yeah, what does it say? Deployable roll bar. Yeah, that's a deployable roll bar. So that is obviously for safety. The lights are really very nice. Beautiful light. In fact, we see the indicators. Yeah, there is no dynamic function for the indicators, no sequential function, which is a bit disappointing. Now with the roof down, obviously space in the boot isn't that great. There's a fail-safe mechanism. You pull this in case the fuel lid is not opening, so you can open it from this side as well. Let me shut this. How do you like the design of the car? I think in terms of design, Ferrari always nails it. Why is this car behaving like a Tata car, ringing and honking all the time? Not expected. Now, the good thing is that getting in and out isn't that difficult. And these are like really small door pockets. Memory function, you can say up to 3 people setting. This is to open the boot of the vehicle. This is actually to open the door of the vehicle. So how do you operate the power windows? Well, that is from the inside. Getting in and out, you have to have a little bit of acrobatics. It says auto park. This is the electric parking brake, and the dashboard design is very similar to the Roma Coupe. So you get an auto dimming mirror, you get lights on the top, which will not be visible in this bright sun right now. The sun is like really super bright, and here you don't get a mirror. Neither do you get a mirror on that side. No, you do get a mirror here with a light as well. Yeah, there's a light here. Let's just shut this. Does this extend? No, it does not extend at all. Lot of screens in this car. Firstly, let me turn off the lights. And these are the controls for the mirrors. This is for the parking camera. When I activate this, why is it the camera not activating? Yeah, it's a bit slow. So the camera actually activates in the instrument cluster itself. This is for the parking sensors. And what is HELI? HELI actually stands for high emotion, low emissions. So that is the stop start system. This is for the interior light probably, but all these are haptic controls. Very difficult to operate. I don't like it at all. And then you get this sort of a white treatment here, which kind of makes this the cockpit. Now this is the new steering wheel. This is the engine start button, which again is sort of a touch control. These are the controls for the lights. Yeah, you operate the lights from here. This activates when obviously you get into a certain command. This is for the indicator, and this is to browse through that screen. Meanwhile, these are the controls for the wiper. This is the Manetino, so you can alter which drive mode you are in. Let's shut the door, and let me tell you that the haptic control has been updated, but still doesn't work that well. Yeah, it's a bit difficult to operate it. I don't know if you can see the screen, but I'm not able to see much. Let me actually get out of the parking camera. So that is the instrument cluster, a typical Ferrari cluster, because you get the tachometer in the center. You get a lot of information on both the sides. Obviously, that's the fuel meter. Full tank of fuel, yay! That is actually the navigation. I think we should just close the roof right now, because there's so much glare, and there the roof is actually coming up and it will shut. It's a very fast roof, because cars like the Mercedes SL and all, they take a lot more time to open and close. Yeah, so this is much faster. Now I think you can see a better view. In fact, if you notice, this is replicated to be like a manual gated transmission. So you just press it like this to drive the car, which I shall do right now, because we are just going to turn it left. Oh, now you select a gear and then you move. So let's go away from the sun. Oh my god, this is not hot, it is beyond hot. How do you get into neutral? By pressing both the paddles together. Now it's in neutral. Now you're going to activate the parking brake, and now why is it making so much sound? Let me put the steering all the way on the top. Now this cluster can be changed. Obviously, complete roof cycle is not done, so we shall keep it pressed. And no, I want to close it. What are you doing? Yeah, let's close the roof. So now the windows will obviously roll up as well, and now we are inside the car. So it says roof closed. If you notice, this cluster has so much information. This is a 16-inch curved screen, which is just amazing. To browse through this now, you just swipe here and then you see it tells you the tire pressure monitor. It makes a sound as well, and it keeps changing stuff. Meanwhile, if I want to get into the menu, I press this button. Now there are a lot of sub menus here: vehicle, audio, navigation, phone, settings, Android Auto. Android Auto works here, CarPlay works there. I don't know why it is like that, but it is what it is. You have multiple colors here, so you can change to yellow, you can change to red, you can change to black, you can change to white, you can change to silver. So that is also quite cool. And when you turn off the car, which I'll do right now, and let me open the door, it shows you what has been your drive information, and it obviously says Roma Spider right there. Let's turn on the vehicle. Rose to life. So again, very similar to latest Ferrari 16-inch. This is an 8.4-inch screen, which you simply cannot see. I don't think you can see it. So it has got menus for audio, for phone, for navigation, as well as for climate, which is sort of easy to use, not very difficult. And you've got seat heating as well, but the camera comes there. So a lot of functions have been removed from here. Ferrari always does it, by the way. These are the power window controls. This is for operating the deflector. This is to operate the soft top roof. This is for the hazard. Some storage space here, and below here you get a 12-volt charging socket, a USB charging socket, another USB charging socket, and a light. Where is the USB-C? This car doesn't seem to have a USB-C only, which is quite surprising. But the interior is lovely, but very quirky and different because this is a Ferrari now, so they have their own way of doing stuff. This is horrible to operate. Half the times now you're not able to get to where you want to, so you keep pressing it. So it's not very nice to operate. Let's do one thing. Let's rev it. Okay, let me turn this switch to race. Yeah, it doesn't sound that great either because flat plain V8 now. Anyways, let's start driving right away. All right, let's turn on the car. I miss a physical button. I am very honest about it. Let me actually get into these controls. They're so bad. I don't know why Ferrari has done this, but it is what it is. Let's get into vehicle. See, half the time what I want to do, it's not happening only. Okay, let me touch it again. Now it is updated. Yeah, it's so confusing. It's taken me so much time to actually get here. I want to actually get into the G-force meter. Let's see if we can do that. Yeah, there is the G meter. Air conditioning off straight away. Okay, turn off. And I just put the navigation menu. Not that you can see anything here. Straight away we actually come into race mode. Left foot on the brake, right foot on the accelerator. And in order to activate launch, you have to come into manual mode, and then only launch control gets activated. Hold 2500 RPM and off we go. Yeah, that was a nice and sweet launch. So obviously in terms of performance, this car is just amazing because there's no electrification here, no downsizing either. Obviously in race mode, it's a bit more aggressive in the way it puts all that power down, which is quite sweet. And the engine actually sounds quite good. However, I expected it to be louder, but it's not as loud as I expected it to be. Oh my god, the engine is just lovely here. I can't see what's behind. So anyways, we are going to launch it again. We are in manual mode. Click on the launch. Oh god, stop start system gets activated here. Launch is active. Okay, left foot on the brake, right foot on the accelerator, revving the motor. Acceleration is just amazing, mind-blowing to say the least. So this is a 3.9 liter V8 engine. It has twin turbos, obviously, because Ferrari went turbocharging after they dropped the 4.5 liter. Okay, red lines at 7,500 RPM. So they actually dropped the NA engine, the 4.5 liter engine in the 458, and then with the 488 they obviously went turbo. Then the F8 also uses the same engine. So a lot of sharing of the engines here. Come on, down, shift and it is so refreshing to go through the gears. Handling is good. It's not the best, it's good enough. And around the corners, obviously, you can feel that this car is totally glued to the road. Okay, let's do the brake test. Brakes are actually quite weak. I'm not impressed with the brakes of this car. I think the brake pads have ghissoed a bit, so they have kind of faded. So that's why it's not really stopping very nicely. And again, here we go. So when you're in manual mode now, then obviously when you give it the full beans, it obviously immediately upshifts when you're launching it. But then otherwise you have to change gears, obviously. So we're going to take a quick U-turn from here. Taking a U-turn is not a problem at all because the steering actually feels light enough. We get into reverse and the camera turns on. A bit laggy. It takes a couple of seconds for the camera to activate, and then obviously can get into first gear from here itself. Okay, let me get out of the camera. And we are in manual mode, so we'll activate launch control again. Launch is active, left foot on the brake, and off we go. Launches with a lot of aggression. This 8-speed dual clutch automatic gearbox is super quick with shift, so always gives you the right gear all the time. And because I'm right now in race mode, the car feels a bit twitchy, so it will let you oversteer a bit, but then electronics will kick in and make sure you're pointing in the right direction. Now this is a 3.9 liter twin turbo V8 engine, which is absolutely phenomenal. It produces 620 horsepower, and the torque output is an impressive 760 Newton meters, but only in 7th and 8th gear. Yeah, that is when it is having the full torque output for you. Otherwise in lower gears it doesn't give you that much torque, I believe, but still it doesn't feel turbocharged because low end lag is not there. Mid range is awesome, and this is a Ferrari, so obviously the top end absolutely phenomenal. What a top end. Lot of electronics in this car, lot of tech, lot of thinking, lot of F1 bits have come here to make sure that the performance is mind-blowing. And trust me, the performance is absolutely mind-blowing. The body roll is very well contained. It feels sharp, steering feels nice, gives you a lot of feel and feedback. It's not as hardcore as say an F8 or even a 296 for that matter, because obviously those are more hardcore sports car. This is like a grand tourer of sorts, and in that regard you will not complain because this is a comfortable Ferrari. Ride quality is actually good, handling is amazing, but not obviously up to the levels of other Ferraris. It doesn't have to be because it's more comfort oriented. You don't have a lift function here, it's not needed because ground clearance seems to be decent as well, and the engine absolutely screams. So they have put a sensor on the turbochargers by which they're able to monitor stuff, and that's the reason it can spin 5000 rpm higher. The turbochargers can spin that much higher as well. So a lot of tech here, but acceleration is mind-blowing. 0 to 100 in 3.4 seconds. 0 to 200 kilometers per hour comes up quite fast in just 0 to 200 comes in 9.3 seconds. That's absolutely crazy. Oh, the sound, mind-blowing, crazy sound. The car's engine is the highlight here, and obviously it's a Ferrari. That's the reason why the engine is just always amazing. So this engine also did duty in the Portofino and did duty in the this thing which is out of the car, yeah, the 488 and then the F8 as well. But here the characteristics are a little bit different. It's more oriented towards, I think, ease of driving, although it could be slightly louder. The sound is good, but it's not great. It could be a lot more louder, which makes me want to stop and launch it once again. So here we are, left foot on the brake, right foot on the accelerator, and launch control. Come on, okay, car stopped. So now we going to, yeah, launch is active, left foot on the brake, and this Nissan Patrol is in my line of sight. Move, 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 move. And here we go. Okay, now launch got deactivated, so that is actually part of the crew only, and off we go. So I did the horn test also unintentionally. Whew. So this car actually weighs 84 kgs more than the coupe version and 11 kgs more than the Portofino. Even though the Portofino actually has a hard top, this one is having a soft fabric top, which has been done so well now that it gives you the same integrity as a regular metal roof, and that's the reason this car does the same 3.4 seconds to 100 km per hour acceleration of the regular Roma coupe. So that's Ferrari for you. Crazy engineering here. Awesome car. Only thing is all these buttons and all, now they kind of ruin the fun because things are a bit very messy to operate. Yeah, not the easiest, and I'm sweating like crazy right now. Anyways, let's do the wiper test. Why is the wiper not working? So here we go. There's little water which is coming out, so water is there, but again little flimsy to operate. Once you get used to it, obviously you're not going to complain about it. But I see a Tesla Cybertruck parked right there. Enjoy the Roma while you can, because the next generation Roma wouldn't be there, but there'll be another car which will become the entry-level Ferrari. Will obviously have electrification, because with the 296 GTB, Ferrari has definitely achieved a lot, which is quite insane. You don't feel the weight here. And then they have so many drive modes. Now there's a wet mode which you don't need because in the desert you will never get wet. I didn't mean that. There's a comfort mode which obviously makes the ride very nice, and then there's a sport mode which is sporty. Race mode makes it bonkers, lets you be a bit playful, and then ESC off mode which is suicide mode because it's obviously rear wheel drive, and that's the reason if you put it in that mode you're going to be going sideways as well, which I'm not permitted to do because Ferrari is like very strict with the cars. They're like, don't drive it more than 250 kilometers, don't do this, don't do that. But then it's Ferrari, and Ferrari is the best supercar or the car brand in the world, the most desirable cars, and then you can't do anything about it because these cars have like waiting periods of 9 and 10 months because obviously there's a lot of customization which is involved as well. So guys, this is my video of the Ferrari Roma, a phenomenal car. What a machine, amazing to drive. The sound and everything is just so mind-blowing. Yeah, it's not very sporty like say a 296, but then if you want your first Ferrari, then probably the Roma is the one to get. Let's get into auto mode, and there you go. One thing I forgot to do is put the roof down while driving to show you how it performs with the roof down, obviously. So now the roof is going down, come on. Yeah, 13.5 seconds seems a lot when you realize that this car goes from 0 to 200 kilometers per hour in 9.3 seconds, which is bloody quick. It has a 1654 kgs weight, and this car is 4.7 meters in terms of length, 2.7 meters in terms of wheelbase, almost quite close to that. That wind deflector actually does help quite a lot here. Still saying roof is open, so I don't know why it keeps confusing itself with the roof is open. Now it is unlimited headroom, top-down motoring. One of the major reasons why you would buy this car, not really because this is the only Ferrari you can get on a budget, if 5 crores is actually a budget here. So after almost how many years? Yeah, it's almost after, one second, let's get into this mode, the race mode. Yeah, wind noise is there. Obviously buffeting has been reduced because of that rear deflector. So almost after 14 years they have done a soft top convertible, because the last soft top from Ferrari was obviously the F430 way back in 2010 when they actually discontinued it. I noticed one thing with the roof down, there's so many glares, I can't see anything at all. I can't see the screen at all. So brightness could be slightly better. They probably need to use OLED screens, and I put my specialist timing gear here because we are going to time the car from 0 to 100 kilometers per hour to see how fast it goes with the roof down. Does it affect the car, or do they tell us numbers with the roof up only when it comes to the timing of the vehicle? I think it should do a decent time here because obviously this is a Ferrari. Our V8 engine is no joke here. The road seems to be flat here, which means we are actually going to come into manual mode, and I'm going to activate launch right now. Brakes are squeaking. Left foot on the brake, right foot on the accelerator. 1 second, let me get back, and now .97 seconds, which is very much slower when compared to Ferrari's claim by half a second, which is not such a good thing. But then I think the car is not having optimal temperature, not the best fuel, and all those things. If you like this video, make sure to give the thumbs up, that's a like button, and also subscribe to the channel. I will see you guys in the next video real soon. Now you can hear a lot of wind. Bye bye.